Now, then you have the inspection report. So after they do the inspection, they should give you a inspection report. The inspector will give you a report explaining any violations or defects you will get in a report, even if there were no problems or problems were not found. Now, you have to make sure you receive a copy of the report or get instructions from your company before leaving the inspection site. So if you were not given a report, then you have to politely ask the inspector to provide you with that copy, for them to give you the copy, because you will need that for your company. And speaking of which, company facility is the location where the business or the main operations lives at. So where the main operations are, that's where the company facility is. For example, certain languages will be the yard, a bus lot, the terminal, home terminal, and etc. So you must turn in the report to your company, and you are required to do that when you get to the next company facility. Now, if you are not going to be at your company facility within the next 24 hours, then that means you need to send that report either by mail or by other means, whether it's email, fax, scan, or etc. Now, your company needs to address any problems with your vehicle, if any, and return the form to the issuing agency. This is using the address on the form within 15 days. So this is important with the inspection report. Even if there were no problems found, you still would need to return the form to an issuing agency if the company needs to address any problems with the vehicle, and using the address on the form to go ahead and do that within 15 days. Then the inspection outcomes, there are 3 different types of outcomes that can happen when it results to an inspection. There are no violations, which is good, violations, which is bad, and then out of service, which is worse. So I'm gonna dive in deeper of each of these 3 outcomes and how you need to be prepared and what are some things to keep in mind when this happens. So inspection outcomes, no violations, that's good. When this happens, an inspector will put a decal on your vehicle. So a decal is a sign, a design that's prepared on a special piece of paper or a decorative sticker. For example, it could be plastic, paper, sticker, glass, metal, etc. That decal will be put on your vehicle as long as there are no critical defects noted. Critical inspection items are the safety-related items that are likely to cause a crash or breakdown if not corrected in a timely manner. Now, you may receive a decal for level 1 or level 5 inspection that's valid for 3 months and serves as a visual indicator that the vehicle has successfully passed the inspection. So level 1 or level 5 inspections are the only inspections eligible for the insurance of a decal. The decal is only valid for 3 months. And remember, the inspector will put the decal on the lower right corner of the outside of the passenger windshield. That's just something to keep in mind of. So this is good. No violations is good. It's great. And you'll receive a decal that's valid for 3 months. Now, when you have violations, that's bad. That means if the inspector found minor violations, then you may be allowed to continue, but a fine may be written and you will not receive a decal. Now, remember, any violations you receive may still have consequences. How deep in severity those consequences are will depend on the type of violation it is and the officer and how role that plays. The officer, the violations, that also plays a major role in it as well. Now, certain types of violations have a high severity points in the Compliance Safety Accountability, also known as CSA program. And it will have an immediate impact on you and the carrier, the motor carrier or the company that you are working with or working for. Then you have out of service outcomes, which is worse. So if inspector find any major safety problems, you and or the vehicle will be placed out of service. That means you won't be able to drive your vehicle again until the problems have been addressed or resolved. So inspectors can place you, your vehicle, or both you and your vehicle out of service. And violating an out-of-service order carries hefty and stiff penalties, and this includes driving disqualifications and hefty fines. Now, the federal regulation outlines a penalty structure for drivers, but it's up to a judge to ultimately decide the actual disqualification period and the fined amount. So this is worse. You do not want an out-of-service order because this is detrimental to you as a driver and to the company or motor carrier that you are working with. In addition to fines that can cost thousands of dollars, a driver who violates an out-of-service order can be disqualified, meaning the driver of a CDL will be downgraded to a non-CDL class of license. Now, the disqualification is 180 days to 1 year for the first offense, 2 to 5 years for a second offense within a 10-year period, or 3 to 5 years for a third offense in a 10-year period. Now, your company cannot force you to drive a vehicle before the repairs are finished. This is important. Your company, your motor carrier, cannot force you to drive a vehicle that is in violation, meaning you cannot drive that vehicle before the repairs have been finished. And they will be fined if they acquire or allow you to violate an out-of-service order. That's why it's important to remember an inspection resulting in violations has serious consequences for you and the company. For example, unscheduled downtime, it can lead to lost revenue, interrupted schedule, hefty fines, and more. You do not want to be in this position. So if you are out of service, then it will cost you, yes, time, money, revenue, but you do not want to be in violation of any out of service order because it's your license, your commercial driver's license. It's your responsibility and it's your career, your livelihood. So you do not want to lose your endorsement or your CDL license. Now, as far as filing a complaint, the vehicle inspection report and the results, if you feel if your rights were violated during a roadside inspection, then call your company and ask them to file a formal complaint through the agency that the officer works for. Now, if you disagree with how the officer conducted the inspection or how they did, or if you disagree with the results, one of the main things is avoid arguing with the inspector. Instead, just stay calm and discuss it with a supervisor and allow them to resolve the issue with a supervisor at the agency that conducted the inspection. In other words, just let your company supervisor help. That's what they're there for. They're there to help you and also to help them as well. Now, if they cannot be reached, that means you must use the FMCSA's online data QS system to challenge the inspection result. Now, the data QS is an electronic system that allows the users to release federal and state data to the public by the FMCSA. Now, note, it's commonly used to request copies of roadside inspection reports and or asks corrections to the data itself. And then the request for data review, the RDR, that's a formal request. Now, that's made by a motor carrier, a driver, or the general public. And that's asking FMCSA to review the data that's listed on the FMCSA website. Either way, you want to document why you thought there was a violation or why you believe the officer made an error and provide this to speed up the process. So you want to provide this specific information to speed up and to expedite the process. Hey, BET Trainer here. Listen, if you really had true value out of this video, go ahead and click that like button and share some honest comments about this video because this is going to help other people as well see the video and get the value information so that way they can be inspired by what you're doing right now as well. So also, if you want to get the latest updates, go ahead and click the subscribe button so then you can be able to always be updated on the next instant video that will be put out. So again, go ahead and do that. And this video was sponsored by BET Life Services and CDL for Life.